Henry, how long have you been serving in pastoral ministry?
We started in September of 1965 in Colburn, and other than for 3 or 4 years, we've been involved in pastoral work all that time, ending up 49 years.
Tell me about your calling.
That's a Jonah experience. I went to Bible college in 1957, and one of the teachers said, if you can do anything and be in the Lord's will without going into the pastorate, do it. So I left after 2 years at Bible college and had my 5-year Jonah experience. And finally I said to my wife, I've got to go back to Bible college. She said, what took you so long?
Do you remember the first time you felt like you wanted to quit?
Well, yes, that was in 1965, 3.5 months after I started. I don't know exactly what brought it to the point, but I was at the place where I was just taking everything on myself personally for results and so on of what was going on. It's never smooth going in pastoral work. So I was sitting in my living room chair and I said, that's it. I'm done. And God spoke to me just as clearly as you are speaking to me in an audible voice. Whose work is it? Well, what kind of answer can you give other than, well, it's yours, Lord. So then he said, okay, leave the results to me. And it gave me 2 Corinthians 4:2. It's required of someone who has, or it's required of a steward to be faithful in his service. And here we are 49 years later now. The Lord and I are still in business.
What aspect of ministry has given you the greatest joy?
I think it has to be personal visitation on an individual basis in hospitals, nursing homes, in individual homes, just to get with people where they're really hurting on a personal basis.
What do you hope to do in your retirement?
I don't know. I was just reading in my devotions this morning. God says, I've got this day planned for you already, so if He plans my day, He'll plan the years ahead too. I'm listening.
What recommendations would you have for a young pastor coming into the ministry?
You run into situations that are difficult. I've looked back on situations and said, well, Lord, why'd you do this? Or why'd you bring me into these situations? And you come out the other side and you see. Just make sure you are following the Lord's leading and seek His face. It's so important to heed His advice. He says, draw near to me and I'll draw near to you. So it's keeping the communication between yourself and God open. We have to take a hold of our resources. And as Peter says, God has supplied everything that we need, including His divine nature.